Chad, a vast, landlocked nation at Africa's heart, is a place where the landscape tells a story of survival, adaptation, and deep-rooted history. Stretching across more than 1 million square kilometers, Chad is a country of striking contrasts and enduring mysteries. Its very name comes from Lake Chad, once one of Africa's largest lakes, now a body of water that's vanishing before our eyes. The lake's retreat is a powerful symbol of the environmental challenges facing the region. Chad's geography is dramatic, ranging from the endless, scorching sands of the Sahara in the north, where the sun blazes over vast dunes and rocky plateaus, to the lush, fertile savannas in the south, where green fields and forests thrive after the rains. This transition from desert to savanna is as abrupt as it is breathtaking. For centuries, this challenging landscape has shaped the lives of Chad's people. Communities here have learned to be resilient, adapting their ways of life to survive in one of the world's harshest and most unpredictable environments. Chad is a crossroads of Africa, bordered by 6 countries: Libya, Sudan, the Central African Republic, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Niger, making it a meeting point for cultures, trade, and migration. Within its borders, Chad is home to more than 200 ethnic groups, each with their own languages, customs, and traditions. This incredible diversity is woven into the fabric of daily life. The result is a vibrant cultural mosaic where ancient rituals and modern influences blend together. Festivals, music, and colorful markets reflect the country's rich heritage. Yet this diversity also brings complex social dynamics, as different groups navigate coexistence, cooperation, and sometimes competition for resources. The climate is unforgiving. Arid desert dominates the north, where sandstorms sweep across the land and water is scarce. In the center lies the Sahel, a semi-arid belt of dry grasslands and sparse vegetation, where life is a constant struggle against drought and uncertainty. But in the south, tropical rains transform the land, bringing life to fields and forests, and supporting agriculture and livestock. Most Chadians live in these southern regions, relying on the seasonal rains to grow crops and raise animals. Their livelihoods depend on the rhythms of nature. At the heart of Chad's story lies Lake Chad itself, the nation's namesake and lifeblood for countless generations. Its waters have sustained people, animals, and cultures for millennia. Today, the fate of the lake and the nation are deeply intertwined. As Lake Chad shrinks, it mirrors the challenges Chad faces: climate change, population growth, and the struggle to balance tradition with modernity. To truly understand Chad, you must understand the immense significance of this ancient disappearing lake, a symbol of both hope and hardship for the people who call this land home. Long before European maps, Lake Chad was a giant, one of Africa's largest freshwater lakes. At its peak, Mega Chad dwarfed even the Caspian Sea, covering 400,000 square kilometers. Its shores touch Chad, Cameroon, Niger, and Nigeria, supporting millions with fish, fertile wetlands, and grazing land. The lake was a hub of trade and culture, its waters navigated by fishermen in papyrus boats, connecting diverse communities. But over the last 60 years, Lake Chad has shrunk by 90%. What was once a vast inland sea is now a patchwork of pools and marshes. Persistent drought, climate change, irrigation, and mismanagement have driven this decline. The shrinking lake threatens the survival of over 30 million people who depend on its resources. Lake Chad's disappearance is an environmental catastrophe with profound human consequences. Chad's history stretches back to the powerful Kanem Bornu Empire, which dominated the Lake Chad region for over 1,000 years. The Sayfawa dynasty built wealth by controlling trans-Saharan trade, connecting North Africa to sub-Saharan societies. Camel caravans carried salt, horses, and textiles south, returning with gold, ivory, kola nuts, and enslaved people. The region was a vibrant center of Islamic scholarship and commerce. Nomadic groups like the Tubu and Zaghawa roamed the desert, sometimes trading, sometimes clashing with the empire. The Lake Chad basin was a crossroads of cultures shaped by empire, trade, and nomadic life. These ancient legacies still influence Chad's identity and politics today. The name Chad traces a linguistic journey through centuries of cultural exchange. The Kanuri people called the Great Lake Saad, meaning a vast expanse of water. Arab traders adopted and adapted the name to Tchad, spreading it across North Africa and the Middle East. The name became synonymous with the legendary lake and its powerful empires. When the French arrived in the late 19th century, they further adapted it to Chad. This name became the official label for the new colonial territory. Thus, Tchad's name is a living link to its ancient life-giving lake. The French arrival in the early 20th century marked a violent turning point for the Lake Chad Basin. After fierce resistance, France established control, naming the territory Tchad after the Great Lake. Colonial rule disrupted traditional power and trade, focusing development on the fertile south and neglecting the arid north. This created deep economic and political divides that still trouble Chad today. Despite new borders, Lake Chad remained the heart of life for millions, providing fish, water, and pasture. For locals, the lake was home and identity, even as colonial administrators saw it as just a name on a map. The French name cemented the lake's central role in the nation's identity. Yet as colonial priorities shifted, the lake's regional importance began to fade. The seeds of future conflict and division were sown during this era. On August 11, 1960, Chad gained independence, keeping the name that linked it to its ancient heritage. This moment was a significant milestone, marking the end of colonial rule and the beginning of a new era for the Chadian people. The celebrations were filled with hope and pride, as the nation looked forward to a future of self-determination and growth. The name Chad was a unifying symbol for a nation of immense diversity, pointing to a shared resource and history. Lake Chad, once one of the largest lakes in Africa, was a vital lifeline for the many ethnic groups that called its shores home. It provided water, food, and a sense of community. But as the country embraced its name, Lake Chad began to shrink. Over the decades, the lake's surface area has dramatically reduced, causing concern among the local population and environmentalists alike. The once vast expanse of water has turned into a shadow of its former self. Droughts in the 1970s and 1980s accelerated the lake's decline, turning water into cracked earth. These environmental changes have had devastating effects on the local communities, who rely on the lake for their livelihoods. The fertile lands that once surrounded the lake have become barren, and the ecosystem has suffered greatly. The name Chad, once a symbol of abundance, became a painful reminder of loss. Fishermen who once thrived on the lake's bounty now struggle to make a living. The empty nets and abandoned boats are stark symbols of the changing times and the harsh reality facing the people of Chad. The shrinking lake triggered an identity crisis. How does a nation named for water define itself as that water disappears? For the younger generations, the stories of a once thriving lake seem almost mythical. They face the challenge of forging a new identity in a landscape that is vastly different from the one their ancestors knew. For younger generations, stories of a vast lake sound like distant legends. Elders recount tales of a time when the lake was full and life was abundant, but these stories are becoming harder to believe as the lake continues to recede. The gap between the past and the present grows wider with each passing year. The name now highlights both a glorious past and a precarious present. The contrast between the lush, thriving lake of the past and the arid, struggling lake of today is stark. It serves as a reminder of what has been lost and the urgent need to address the environmental challenges facing the region. Chad's identity is increasingly tied to environmental loss and the challenges ahead. Efforts are being made to combat desertification and restore the lake, but the road ahead is long and fraught with difficulties. The resilience and determination of the Chadian people will be crucial in overcoming these obstacles. The nation's name is both a legacy and a warning. It stands as a testament to the rich history and cultural heritage of Chad, but also as a cautionary tale of environmental degradation and the urgent need for sustainable solutions. The future of Chad depends on how it navigates these challenges and preserves its legacy for generations to come. Today, Chad stands at a crossroads, facing a convergence of crises that threaten its very foundation. At the heart of these challenges lies the shrinking Lake Chad, once a vast oasis and lifeline for millions, now a stark symbol of environmental decline and human struggle. The loss of water devastates livelihoods, leaving fishermen with empty nets and farmers with barren fields. As the lake recedes, entire communities are uprooted, fueling conflict and mass displacement across the region. Competition for scarce resources intensifies, pitting neighbors and even families against each other. The struggle for access to water and arable land drives instability, forcing many to migrate in search of a better life. In this climate of uncertainty, poverty and lawlessness have taken root. Extremist groups exploit the desperation of those left behind, further destabilizing the region and making recovery even more difficult. Yet despite these hardships, the name Chad endures. It is a testament to a proud, resilient heritage deeply rooted in the lake's history and the enduring spirit of its people. The story of Chad connects the nation to ancient empires, legendary trade routes, and millennia of survival in a harsh and unforgiving land. The lake has shaped cultures, traditions, and identities for generations. Today, Chad's name is both a banner of history and a stark warning for the future. It reminds us of what has been lost, but also of what can still be saved. The disappearing lake is a powerful symbol of climate change, environmental neglect, and the urgent need for sustainable solutions. Its fate is a call to action for the world. Saving Lake Chad is not just about preserving water, it is essential for the nation's survival, peace, and identity. Local communities are working together, finding hope in small victories and innovative solutions. If this story gave you new insight into Chad's challenges and resilience, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. Which country's name and story should we uncover next? Let us know below, and join us as we explore the rich histories and urgent futures of nations around the world.